Okay, okay, okay. Oh, gave that away. Okay, test. Okay, test. All right, we're getting ready to go. Just everybody wants to get on at 4. Hopefully, you guys can hear me. Sit up a little bit. Oh, and now it's 4 o'clock. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Sunlight on Chaos. Sunlight on Chaos. You get the idea. All right, trying to make up for yesterday's show. Had a little technical blowout. Lots of fun. Anyway, hopefully that won't happen. I have 5 clips. I pretty much have more to talk about than some clips today, but none of them came up audio wise yesterday. So sorry about that yesterday. Whoever saw that, I was like, whoa. Now we're going to make up for it because, and I wanted to be like catastrophically freaked out, and I just tried to chill out. And then I got up today and didn't have to go to a day job for once. Had all day to myself, and I was able to get up and watch, like, Morning Joe and CNN and a little of Fox and Frauds, Fox and Funk and Frauds, effers and frauds. You get the idea. It takes a lot of muscle, a lot of mojo to watch that placating crap every day. That's all I got. You know what I don't have? I come up with all this stuff like riffing, like off the top of my head. Well, I have my notes. I do have notes, but I don't have. I'm going to check into it, a mini teleprompter. Now I know it's sort of cool. Like I'm sort of like going to Rachel Maddow, like a little combo, But even Rachel, gets 16 minutes in an hour for commercials, bathroom breaks. You know, I just have to go. That's why, like, once I cross that 45-minute threshold, I'm like, yeah, I had no bathroom breaks. I had nothing, no powdering of the nose. Anyway, trying to be a little upbeat because I got up. So, yeah, I was bummed out yesterday, but I got up today and I was like, you just start getting infuriated, as the type of news and the twists and turns come out. But some good stuff today. Let's just go to something and welcome again, everybody. Let's go to something what I would call sort of smaller news, in a sense. It's ongoing. It's about the hearing of this vindictive BS with James Comey and Letitia James. Both of their cases were heard by a judge today, and about this improper insurance attorney, Lindsay Halligan. Call her Lindsay Hooligan. What's all the shenanigans, Hooligan? You hooligan, Lindsay. You fell for that too. Well, there goes that beauty pageant. You're not gonna make that one. Anyway, I think she was a pageant attendee, contestant. I don't know if she won anything. That's the kind of news I don't take all day to look up and go back or fact check. She got into something. She got somewhere in that. All right, let's get into it. So that was heard by a judge today, and some sort of ruling should be out roughly by Thanksgiving. So that's either going to be a good Thanksgiving for Comey and James. It's funny, he's James Comey and she's Letitia James. That wasn't a slip on my part. Comey and James could be like a liqueur or a law firm. Well, there you go. Perfect. They should gear up together, shouldn't they? They're both lawyers, legal backgrounds. So anyway, we'll see what happens. That could come before Thanksgiving. But this is just this one small little nugget that goes into this, like, well, what's it from? Oh, it's because the orange virus brought it. The orange virus. COVID, something goes with that for him, the orangutan. So this is stalling all over the place because it was so weak that, the other attorney may have heard he didn't even take it. He didn't feel he could even push it as a case. So this garbage will play out sometime up to before Thanksgiving. We'll find out about that. Speaking of Thanksgiving, type of stuff and generosity. Have you ever seen Trump uh, out amongst the everyday people, not berating governors, not berating FEMA? You know, the one thing I remember is him throwing paper towels and, like, beaning somebody in the head in Puerto Rico with a paper towel, with a roll of paper towels. Freaking idiot. And but so then, like, no, he doesn't get in with the common everyday folk like me and you, or I don't know who's watching, but I know a lot of you are fairly regular folk, I would think. And if you are in the if you're in the Trump element or that whole riffraff, I hope you're watching, because this should be good this Thursday. So let's see what we've got here. I do have a ridiculous clip here because, it's monkey see, monkey do, right? So this little monkey, Caroline Levitt, is just trying to back up the jackass, the great jackass, and he does this cup and balls thing. He excuse me, it's his old cup and balls tricks up. That's what he's up to again, by wanting to throw out a $2,000 check. And I'll go back to COVID. That was needed back then. That worked. I think Joe Biden did as well. But now he's throwing around stuff because he's so screwed up with the ACA subsidies, and they're just so angry that, God forbid, it's called, Obamacare, or how about just the Affordable Care Act? Remember that word everybody's using now, affordable, right? So in any event, I just took off the chat box, but I shall put it back in. Okay. And since it's back in, guys, chat about anything today, certainly relevant to the show, would be good, but maybe something near these topics will come up. That's fine too. Really, anything that's on your mind. So this $2,000 check, it just comes out of nowhere. It's like he's trying to be like, well, we're going to, like, screw the people on the ACA, subsidies. But you take 2,000, maybe some of you that aren't even on it will use it for something and be responsible. But we're going to blow the people with the ACAs that are going to double and or triple. But even if they double for a few months, that $2,000, that's gone. That's gone. So don't be trying to even throw it. It sounds like a lot of money for a month or two, and then it fades away. The health insurance that people have to carry, 22 million of those people on that program have to carry that for years. So I digress a tiny bit, but watch good old little Blondie over here. Oh, Blondie. I think she passed away today. Somebody put it in the chat. Come on, one of you guys. I think lovely Blondie. God, I used to live down in New York, real close to her. I always used to look out for her. I never met her. I think she passed away today. She was like 80 or 80 something. But Blondie, Harris. Oh God, somebody chat me. Wendy, not Harris. It'll come to me in 30, 80 seconds. Harry. Oh, come on, somebody chat me that. Anyway, she was fantastic. Debbie Harry. Steve-O. Debbie Harry from Blondie. But see, she was cool. But this little Blondie is nothing more than a really loud, obnoxious little sounding board for Trumpelstiltskin. The great Fatsby. She's just yelling behind. Let's go to her and let's see what we can get.
Sure, John.
Sure.
I'll go to John and then Zolan. Go ahead.
Thank you so much. Trump has talked about sending out $2,000 checks to U.S. citizens. Earlier this year, he also talked about sending a DOJ dividend. That didn't materialize. Should U.S. Citizens expect a $2,000 proposal? Is the White House committed to making that happen?
The White House is committed to making that happen, yes.
Okay, watch this. The White House is committed to making that happen through magical thoughts. Okay, watch how she just word salads this for 16 seconds, this garbage.
And we are currently exploring all legal options to get that done. I don't have a timeline for you or any further details, but I can confirm for you that the president made it clear he wants to make it happen, and so his team of economic advisors are looking into it, and when we have an update, we'll provide one.
Looking into it. Okay, how many things? Like, wants to do it, looking into it. Okay. This is all like, no, that's probably never going to happen. It's something that just throw everybody off from the Affordable Care Act. Like, no, don't be so upset about that for your fellow people that are on that program, desperately need it. We'll throw you 2,000, so you'll even be quiet. We'll throw 2,000 every. Yeah, but you get 2,000. You get 2,000. You get 2,000. You jackass. Anyway, so that's all she's doing. She's just backing him up. But then you have Hakeem Jeffries, on the other side, who is, there's something about him. I've grown to like him because he's got this dead stare thing going on. I mean, he smiles. If you really try to make a good joke, you'll see him sort of grin for a minute. But this is not the time to grin. And he's perfect about it because he's not up for grinning. And he knows how deadly serious all of this is, on top of all the other Trump junk. So, sorry, that was I touched my Bluetooth and she starts chirping away again. Let's go to somebody more deadly serious like Mr. Hakeem Jeffries.
Incrediwear is the first wearable anti-inflammatory. Not only does it take away the inflammation, but when you take away the inflammation...
Today, House Democrats will introduce legislation to extend the Affordable Care Act tax credits for 3 years, to make sure that tens of millions of Americans don't experience dramatically increased premiums, copays, and deductibles.
So do you have a thought?
Oh, sorry, guys.
Today, House Democrats will introduce legislation to extend the Affordable Care Act tax credits for 3 years.
Could be repeated.
To make sure that tens of millions of Americans don't experience dramatically increased premiums, copays, and deductibles.
Okay. Now we shall pause. So I hope that you're hearing this because yesterday, couldn't hear it. Or you guys couldn't hear it. I played it back myself. I was like, God damn. But I didn't know until after the show was over, and then I played it back, and I was like, ah. So then I hope you can hear it. Okay. Now, moving right along. Let's see. Pardon me. So 3 years, he's trying to go for 3 years. Okay. Look, if they can get it, just extend it for 6 months is a little too short because they're shoving everything into January with the budget and everything. So 6 months is too short. But even a year, throughout the next year, and especially coming up on midterms, that would give them the whole a whole year. So maybe they start out with 3 years, and then the Repubs, whoever at the last minute, backs it down to 1 or 2 years, even 1 year. That's enough time to re-gig and rewire things. And certainly it brings it right up to, the midterms, right? So there you go. And I must have, I knew there was a reason to run another clip right after this. Because this is just another monkey see, monkey do thing. Look, perhaps Dr. Oz, the weirdo of Oz, as a person, I would call him that. He may have some credits, but it's almost like this guy that he doesn't know. He spent time in the medical field and he doesn't know how to deal with politics or anything. So all he's doing is stumbling around, trying to feel this out. And check this out. Check this out. Let's see. Let me give it to you this way. Sorry.
On how you want to see this play out once these subsidies do expire this year?
You always ask the right questions, Maria. So I spent a good part of the weekend with the White House working on exactly the answer to that question. We have lots of great ideas.
Exactly. That we have great ideas. Sorry, I even cut him off. I was so pissed because I already know the clip. we've been working exactly on that question about we have lots of great ideas. But let me finish. There might be some little ounce of crap left in here.
But I don't want to show our cards. As the president often says, why would I telegraph to you what we're going to do?
That's what it was. Sorry. I will chill on this stuff and get back to full cam. But of course, the president doesn't want to say anything. He doesn't want to say anything because why would we want to show you anything and reveal, it's back to the cups and balls garbage, so it's sort of like with the fake, $2,000 check, unless it comes in. But he's like, well, why would we want to show our hand? No, this is exactly when you want to show your hand, guys, with your ideas. Oh, and what did he say? Johnson, Speaker of the House, this goes right hand in hand. Say hand in hand. Goes right hand in hand. Johnson comes out today with just this line. It's like, these good lines go by so fast. How do you categorize all this crap? There's like mountains of minutes and moments. So he goes, oh, yeah, no, we have ideas. This is the newest phrase I've heard. We have volumes of ideas. Volumes, like stacks and stacks and volumes a mile long of ideas. That's about the same as a little better than a concept of an idea. Yeah, because it's volumes of maybe actual ideas. I don't know. But in any event, these guys are just all really good at not saying anything about what they want to talk about. But oh, damn that ACA, and god damn that you want it extended for a year or 2 or 3. Oh, but even a year, oh, wow, we have concepts of ideas and there's volumes of them. Idiot. So he's a squirt. So she's a squirt, Caroline Leavitt. Johnson's a squirt. The weirdo of Oz is a squirt. You see how it, don't get the orange guy mad, because he'll come get you. He'll come get you. Watch out. He'll come get you, this piece of shit. Okay, now we're going to shift gears into what is sort of the big effing deal today. And I'll try to talk about it a little bit, and then I'll run a couple of short clips about it. Oh, okay, yeah. So I have to remember some other crazy things that keep getting said about everything and anything. Because, they could just go off and say anything. I don't have an entire news organization behind myself, so I'm around the house all day listening to 2 or 3 different stations and trying to read Reuters and AP and everything. I can't wait to get a little more money into the system. My IT guy, this is why this thing went down. I couldn't handle it yesterday. I don't have an IT guy sitting right over there. You know what I have? I have this guy. See that little guy? That's me. See sunlight? On chaos. And that's me with the little sun in the dark. It's dark, and then there's the government there in the dark. And then there's me. And is that my hand on my chin like this? Or is that me going like, oh, gonna get you? So, sorry, a little close with the mic. But if you could share. This is very important. I'm not asking you guys for money at all today, so don't get nervous. But I still have my site up, which is, and I'm going to go like this again. I'll try to hold it really still. If you just take your smartphone and photograph that, then you could send that to anybody with a smartphone. You can even, it'll take you to the site, and then you can click on share on the site as well. And I have a 3-minute video describing everything I'm doing here on Sunlight on Chaos, with Sunlight on Chaos. So the other thing is, if you can subscribe, that's what this internet, with the YouTube stuff is all about, subscribing. So the more subscribers is really a good thing for me. And it's free. So no money, it's free, okay? So, but if you like what you see, please do that, because that will help. And telling everybody else that you could possibly tell will be great. 5 days a week now. 4 Pacific time, 7 Eastern. Okay, so now we're going to get into, I think you know what's coming, unfortunately. Let's see. About Mr. I'm not looking for it. I'm just looking for what kind of crazy stuff. How can I lead into this? We were talking just before about money, right? So how about following the money, and that there are apparently 1 billion, that's, what does he do? That's 1 billion with a B in transactions of Epstein's money concerning tawdry, weird elements that are needed to be found out about with that $1 billion. So he was getting a lot of money in, a lot of money out. He had an interesting way of getting a lot of people's attention and a lot of people's money. So we're going to talk about Mr. Epstein. All right. Good old Jeff. Good old my ass. So anyway, there was the voting going on, and Grijalva, yes, she, the last senator, was finally sworn in. Sure, Johnson was biting his lip on that, and she's in now. Adelita Grijalva, did I get that right? You know who I'm talking to out there, correcting me the other day. You come help me. Adelita Grijalva, I think. Okay, so she's sworn in, and she's like, "Yeah, man, screw these guys. I'm in. I'm the 218th vote to vote in for the releasing of the Epstein files." Haha. So, and got to give credit to Massey Boebert, Bing Bang Boebert. Sorry, Massey Boebert Mace. No matter what she's going through right now, and I don't know. And then Marjorie TG, and throw her letters around a little bit. MTG, we love it's AOC, but MTG comes into play. Good for her. Hey, good for her. So maybe now when this gets going into next week, maybe people like Rand Paul will jump on. We need these people to jump on from the other side, because I'm going to get into this in 1 second. But Trump had said something. Listen to how this is phrased. Trump said, only a very bad or stupid Republican would fall into that trap. Okay. A very bad Republican? Wow, so all of a sudden you have to think, am I a very bad Republican? Okay. Or a stupid. Just come right out and just bash your own, people. Very bad or stupid. Only a very bad or stupid Republican would fall into that trap. Hey, what trap, asshole? What trap? Yours? Yours, I think. Think you're a little bit nervous there, Trump? Things are starting to creep up on you. Because here's the thing. This is what I really want to get into right here is override. Because the big thing they're sort of half talking about today is, I should put my glasses back on for this. Sorry, I had LASIK to see far. Now I can see an eagle 80 miles away almost, but I still need reading glasses. They can't do two things with LASIK, by the way. So if you're going to get LASIK, you only do it for one or the other. So here I am, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, the override. There is a way, if they can't get the vote, they'll get in the House, but the House and the Senate to override, because Trump's going to probably veto it, the releasing of the Epstein files. But it would need both in the House and the Senate, a 2/3. Forget filibuster. Forget 51 to 50. To override, if Trump were to veto it, the House and the Senate have to have super majorities. Okay, super majorities. That would mean, now currently 218 voted for it. That's enough to get it to a vote, to get it up on the table, so to speak. And they said, what's his name? Oh, you know who it is. He's a cool guy. it's one of the representatives, Swalwell, Eric Swalwell. See, it takes me a second. See, it's because I don't have a teleprompter and I don't have a crew and they're not in my ear. You know what I mean? Haha. And I'm not tied to it. Well, I could be Bluetooth to a mixer to somebody else, but I'm not. It's just me. So the House would need 2/3, which would be 290 votes. So that would be 72 more than the current 218 votes in the House to get them to 2/3, which is part A. So 290, 72. Now, here's the interesting part. 21 of the representatives, aside from Boebert and MTG and Mace, there's 21 other women Republican representatives. Interesting. So let's say bump that up, or you start with Rand Paul and such, 220, 240. So we need 50 guys with big boy pants. We need 50 Republican representatives to get it up to 290. I wrote that down. And that would be 2/3. So they would then clinch, knock that into gear to 290. Now, a supermajority. Now, I brought up Eric Swalwell because days ago, maybe sometime last week, he said it could be a jailbreak. You're going to love that, a jailbreak, because everyone's feeling so weird about it. And how do you vote against, hello, House of Representatives.gov, I have the list here of everybody, and so do you online, everybody. How, Eric, it said the jailbreak, if they can get 290, 291, right, maybe, then they get the supermajority. Part A is done, okay? Then that goes through. Then it goes to the Senate, which we all have online as well. People like, hello, we all know the name Susan Collins. She's a woman. Okay, I didn't even count up how many. What are there? 4. I can do this real quick. 4, 5, 6, 7 out of the 50 Repubs. 7, 8, 9, almost 10. Almost 10 out of the 50 are women. Okay, senators. And if I get one of them on the phone, not the women so much. Well, yeah, whoever on the phone, any of them. One of my things was that and I have a recording. I did record one of these representatives. I'll try to play it back for you. I know I try to play these recorded things. It doesn't transfer too well into my beautiful mic, coming from another source, which came from my phone. So that's like, what is that? Like telephone, except in a really bad way. Who did I do? I had been calling about Snap. I had been calling all these other people. Look at all these notes I'm making. That was just calling people for Snap. Let's see. Who do I have here? Yes. From Florida. Tried to call at 1:30. What would that be? Yeah, 1:30, be like 4:30. And I even had a zip code ready, but that's a little irksome to talk about. But they sometimes want to know where you're from. So I end up either telling them or not telling them my last name. And I might say, what if I am from Florida or not? I play that game. And they're like, well, we'd like to know if you're his constituent, blah, 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 blah. So you got to play that game when you call, not if. When you call. You want to turn this into a fun, interesting thing for yourself. Because I'm going to, in the next couple of weeks now, I'm going to barrel through this and definitely hit these Repubs. And the women or the men, whoever has an ear for this, oh my God, 30 years ago? More than 30 years ago. Maybe almost 35 years ago. I co-wrote and directed a theatrical project called, with Susan Wright Jameson at the time, called Why to Sleep. Why to Sleep. And it featured, Susan wanted to actually have rape survivors involved in the project. So we cast for it. We had to have a couple of men. I acted in it as well. And there were 10 rape survivors in the cast who did either monologues or together or talking in different scenes. And I had to do a few of them. I did an opening monologue, but then I did a rape scene with one of the girls. And, you know, they were young, and we were all young back then. But I took her behind the couch, and she had a flashback behind the couch, and she almost hit me. She sort of grazed me and almost fell over. And I'm like, whoa, what? And she's like, oh, just keep going. I had a flashback. This is what rape does. It infects your life and follows you for the rest of your life. Okay? I know it. I see it firsthand. It's true. And it's a nightmare. So you'd have to ask yourself, even next week when they put up this vote, how many of those other 100 Republicans who have not signed on to the release of the files could say, yeah, I'm going to vote against not releasing potentially damaging information about rape and molestation between Epstein and Trump. I want to keep that closed. That's going to be a really interesting vote next week, isn't it? So let's see. I left a message for, let's see, Anna Paulina Luna. She's in the 13th District of Florida. And again, I don't know if you can hear this. I can translate a little bit after I play it. But you can come up with anything. Either write a little script, you know, like your own little teleprompter. You could just read off it because you're not in front of a camera like me. You could just read because they have most of them have their assistants from 9 to 5. And you can ask the assistant, you know, so I just tell you, and most of them just do it in shorthand. Try not to let them figure out that if you're out of state. If you're in state, then go for it. If you're not right in the district, you know, whatever, just say I'm from this state and listen to me. Then they'll write it down and they'll hopefully give it to whichever representative. So let me play this. This is just to show you that I did it. Oh, but you know what? I got an answering machine. So here's the thing. What's interesting is if you got an answering machine, it's okay, because one thing, you don't have to let the assistant, well, you know, try to scribble some half, you know, baked stuff down in shorthand, which they might either keep or throw out, or, you know, you can get on the answering machine and hopefully the actual representative would hear the actual voice message, like something like this, instead of the assistant getting in the way. Hopefully they would just play, but this would get caught in playback, right? So just let it run on the answering machine of the, you know, messages for the day. So let me get some power on here. I think I'll just pull up this one. I'll try to put this properly over here. And let's see if I can get it. All right, I hope you guys heard that. For the betterment of the country, just do it. Get off your protective ass, you know, and just do it. Nike. Remember that? All right. Now, getting back to this, the representatives are going to go first. Hopefully, it would be so cool if that would go from 218 to 290, right? And so, but then it's not over. Then whatever they get then would go to the senators, which also you have, you know, ussenators.gov. Okay. And I might have just mentioned Susan Collins and so on. But there's all these guys, Lindsey Graham, you know, Tammy Duckworth. Oh, there you go. Steve Daines. I mean, you know, John Kennedy. Does that weirdo have a heart? Certainly Angus King. Come on, Angus. Do it. Tom Cotton. Yeah, maybe not. John Cornyn. Maybe not. Not going to get everybody. But only need God, about 17-ish senators, or maybe 20. And that would be phase 2. At that point, if there's a majority, if there's a super majority in the House and the Senate, then it's not, you can't override it. It's not vetoable. Okay? Trump can't veto it. It goes and they release. Okay? Because, and can you imagine, even if they didn't get all the signatures, which I hope they did, so they could override them no matter what. Can you imagine if they didn't and he would say, oh, I'm going to veto it. You're going to veto it? Really? You're going to veto it? Why? Because you don't want that information out for the rape survivors? Trump? You freak? So he knows he's in a bind. He's in a rat hole. It would just be nice to get the information fully, because the other guys should be brought out too. I mean, that is the key, the goal. But another goal is to watch Trump desperately try to get out of it and veto it. And then what does it do? Makes him look like the freak he is. Not to mention, following the money with Epstein, like I said, the $1 billion in transactions with all of these high-powered freaks. Wouldn't it be nice to know all these nasty guys? I'd like to know who they are. All over the world. All over the world. Because thinking of a queen right now, guess who's getting the queen treatment, right? Ms. Maxwell. Ghislaine Maxwell. Okay, this is crazy that she's getting the high treatment in this, resort camp. That's some sort of a prison of sorts. So she's being treated Maxwell. So Maxwell is getting the Maxwell treatment. And you know what? This is just, the whole thing is so crazy. We need to call the representatives and the senators. We need to persuade, coerce, guilt, and shame them. Very simple, because it's true. It's real. Persuade, coerce, guilt, or shame. Pick one. And we go at them, because they do listen to messages or constituents, or, just go. And especially if, God forbid, you were in one of their districts, then you can really pull it out multiple times in the next week, and really go after that person. Keep calling back and back and back, So in any event, there is, they're talking about these bombshell emails today that came up, but they're not, let me say this. I have to say this. They're not really bombshell emails. Okay. They're more like very, pertinent emails, but the big ones, those are from the estate. Okay. Let's make that clear. Those are from the Epstein estate. Okay. And they're not in the DOJ's files. So there's like 20,000 documents in the Epstein estate files. There's like maybe 40 or 100,000 documents that DOJ is holding. Okay. Remember all this? And so the DOJ is holding the mega bombshell emails, but let's see what they are saying here about that, and let's get down to it.
House Democrats releasing emails today from convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein, some specifically referencing President Trump. Those emails were obtained from the thousands of documents subpoenaed from Epstein's estate. ABC's Olivia Rubin has that story.
For the first time, we're seeing bombshell emails to and from deceased convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein.
All right. Can't really look at him too long. So as you hear, that's what they call it. But the big ones are in DOJ. All right. And back to little Caroline Leavitt. She does it again. She does it again. She backs him up. This, what I am beginning to call an evil man. There are a lot of words that can be attributed to this sick individual. And I'm going to talk tomorrow, Friday, about the definition of evil. It's got multiple definitions, okay? And we're beyond the scammer thing now. You know, we're beyond his casinos and not paying all of his guys, all of his contractors, stealing, thieving, this, that. We're beyond his narcissism and his stupidity with like the East Room and like a bulldozer in a China shock. Maybe that's where he's in shock. So who knows how many more dumb things he's going to do, because he should be a little in shock. China's not going to put up with his crap. But I'm going to talk tomorrow about evil and leave that with you over the weekend. Perhaps then you can go on any of these representatives' machines, because they haven't been in so many days, but they're not going to be around. If you're the type that likes to leave something on a machine, take all the time, all weekend. Leave many. Leave 100 messages. Go all over the place, especially in your constituency. Whoever might be a Republican rep, you know, there's a mixture in many states, right? They're not all Dems or Reds. But watch this backup routine from little Missy again. When she gets going, she snaps. You know, but you know Trump likes her because she's got all the, you know, all the goo and the do and the whole thing, the shebang. I'm going to leave it at that. You know what I'm talking about. You know what greasy ass Trump likes. Let's see what she says. From him to his minion. Let's see.
These emails prove absolutely nothing other than the fact that President Trump did nothing wrong.
Yet that you don't know about, you freak. So let's see if I can even get to the end of 20 seconds. That was just 5 seconds.
And what President Trump has always said is that he was from Palm Beach, and so was Jeffrey Epstein.
So what? Oh, so they sort of got to know each other. It was just a happenstance. Epstein's all over the world with all of the richest, most influential people all over the world. I don't think it's just because they were neighbors, you know, and maybe wanted to buy some similar properties. I heard somebody say, no, of course not. Stupid. 11. Let's see if we can get 9 more seconds out of her.
Jeffrey Epstein was a member at Mar-a-Lago until President Trump kicked him out because Jeffrey Epstein was a pedophile and he was a creep.
Okay, herein lies just how unprepared they are, okay? He was there, and they were friends until, okay? Case in point, that's the word, until he like somehow gradually found out that he was a pedophile, you know, and a creep, okay? That means up until means up until he knew, and it's in the emails now. He knew Trump knew everything, you know. And he groped in '93. He gropes not Stephanie, Stacey Miller. Oh, she's an actress. She's out. She was on today in the news. It was Stacey Williams. Yes, I having directed a couple movies. I auditioned Stacey Williams. Let me get that right, the name right. I auditioned her right around 94. She was going out. She went out for like 6 months with Jeffrey Epstein. And what did I know back then? 30 years ago. But she dated that, was unfortunate enough to have that experience to date that pig back then. And I was I was going to cast her in 94 for my film, The Irreversible Year. She was nice. Excuse me. Can't edit that out. So I knew her, and you know, it just didn't work out. She just didn't seem like she was fully ready and right for the part, but she seemed like a very lovely person. And she's, to this day, just to date, she was on TV, I think with Nicole Wallace, Stacey Williams. And she's still out there, and she's hanging tight. She's like, I've been dealing with this for a year. It's been like 30 years, but she's been, you know, having to sink her teeth back in all this horse shit, you know, over for the past year, because it's getting down to the wire now. You know, people are starting to come back out. They were in Capitol Hill, which was really good. Got the ball re-rolling, you know. So they're all ready to go. I mean, they're just chomping at the bit, you know, these survivors. And what can we say? They know a lot. What they are doing is they're corroborating with each other, so they know what's going down, and so do we. All the pieces of the puzzle come together, and it's so incredibly obvious. It's just now getting all of the really obvious details to know what kind of president you MAGA people are supporting. Okay, somehow do the Dems and a bunch of the independents and Green Party and whoever know it, or non-voters just know it just by opening our ears for any length of time with this sewage? You could just, it's simple, but it's nice to have all the facts and have all that come out, obviously. Then that can be hung over his head for the rest of his term, and he can go to his grave with it. Lovely. But you know what? You do that kind of shit, you go to the grave with it. And he's going to go because he knows in his head what he did. Epstein went to the grave by his own doing. Let's see what happens with Trump. Let's see what happens with this piece of garbage. So, I'll leave you with that today. It's going to be a really heavy week coming up. So I plead with you to be a subscriber, number one. But I plead with you to, that too, definitely do that. So just go on United States representatives.gov. You could just type it in. You know the deal. And then after that, we'll get to the senators after this first vote is cast. Go find some answering machines. Go talk to some of their assistants. Man, I can't wait to get one of these guys online, like on the phone live. I won't let him up. He'll have to, I'm going to say Hill or the women. Let's go. I'll take it to go to the mat with one of these guys, and they'll have to hang up on me. Okay. So, I'll just keep talking until they hang up. And you know what? You hang up on somebody, you can't handle it. If they can outflank me, they're not going to. It's impossible. So I leave you with that. Try to just do it. Just 10 digits. Just look it up and go, all right, let me call this one. Just do one. And you get the feel of it, and then maybe you do 2 or 5 or 10 calls. And if all of us do it and you tell everybody, you know what? Just this idea came to me from the show, Sunlight on Chaos, that we can all just call and forget about if you're in their district or not. Call anybody you want off that list, any Republican, except the 4 that already voted in favor of this. You don't need to bother, Mace and whatever. And you have the list there. The 4, I just went through it. The 4 of them, the 3 women, Boebert, yeah, there it is. Boebert, Mace, Massey, and Taylor Greene. Got them. Don't have to bother with them. They're already in, and they're not taking their names off for any reason. Although they got Boebert down into the situation room, tried to spook her. They tried to strong arm her, and she's like, no, this is rape and stuff. So, and everything that goes along with it. And just so you know, one may never see little tidbits I'll leave you with on the end here too. The jobs report for October, we may never see it. We may never see it. And because of the shutdown that the Republicans needed to have in place so all of the sunlight could be put on them. And I don't need to talk to you about prices going up, but some big box stores were talking about raising their prices slowly. I'm watching. I have a lot of old grocery bills. You'll see stuff just start to ease up. You'll see that continue to happen. And I think that's about the idea. Yeah, we'd have to, super majorities would be great, but this is finally going to come down to Trump, the chump. If he wants to veto it, maybe he'll be right in the camera and it'll all be on tape that he's vetoing it. And we'll all know that he wants to hide information about spurious, horrible activities. to say the very least. So thank you for watching, and have a great day. Every day is a new day. Every day is different. I had a tough day yesterday, technically. I woke up today, I'm like, no, screw it, damn it. So somehow I found my energy again. You will too, if you're low energy today or tomorrow. Another day is tomorrow. And let's go get these guys, okay? So thank you. Thank you very much for watching. And you guys all have a good night.